Welcome to the Voices of the Goddess podcast. We believe that there is a goddess inside each and every one of us. When we use our voice to share that goddess, we support and uplift each other. Join us each week as we interview women to receive the message of their goddess within.
Hey everybody, we are so excited to have very special guests today. My name is Allyson Mancini and I am your holistic nutritionist.
And I am Julietta, the magical PT. Welcome to our Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we interview goddesses to support all other goddesses out there in becoming all that they can be. Today is a really special show. We have on Chloe, our goddess of the day, with her dad, Jay. So welcome to the show. It's not Father's Day yet if you're listening to us live, but this is going to be our Father's Day special podcast. And because every goddess should have a wonderful dad in their life. I know I am super, super grateful for my dad and all the support that I got from him over the years. And so we have Chloe here with her dad. Welcome. Please introduce both of yourselves to our audience and tell them a little bit about who you are.
Ladies first.
Thank you, Daddy. So I'm Chloe Granieri. I love acting. I love soccer. I love to do lyrical, which is a type of dance that you use emotion and all of that. And
Got a big birthday coming up.
Yep.
Pre-teener here. Breaking 10
Ooh.
is a big deal, right?
Do not remind me.
Yeah, I know, right? And a double important year. She's graduating elementary school now.
Yep. And going to middle.
Gonna be middle schooler.
Exciting. I love that.
Help
I
me.
saw that. You're going off to middle school in the fall.
Oh man.
Yeah. Hope the summer goes on long.
Yeah. Very interesting year to say the least. Yeah. Part-time home, part-time. She finally went back to school live, so
Yep.
we're good.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Dad, who are you?
I'm Jay Granieri, the daddy of this beautiful little bundle next to me. I'm a full-time real estate advisor at Compass here in Fort Lauderdale. We live in Coral Ridge now, and I've got a great family. Aside from my daughter Chloe, I've got a 7-year-old son Cruz,
Crazy.
and my wife Jenny. And we've been kicking it in Fort Lauderdale now for 17 years. Originally moved here from Los Angeles, and just loving it. Part-time, I say, I feel like a part-time dad, full-time coach, because that's what I do most of the time with these kids all the time, or an Uber driver. So it's probably what I really should get paid for.
Yeah.
So true.
Around
So
5
true.
days.
Right. I know. Yeah. So now we're super excited, and we appreciate the opportunity to share our love for each other and obviously our companionship. That's probably the thing that, to me, I think we have a great bond about is just, we're buddies, we're dad and daughter, and got a great respect for each other too. So.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of stuff together. Like, tell us a little bit about, I know there's Indian Princess, right?
Yeah.
How long have we been doing that for?
We've been doing that 5 or 4.
5 years.
5 or 4.
If they don't know tell them what Indian Princess is.
Yeah.
Indian Princess is when if your dad or if you just want to spend time with your dad, if your dad is off to work 24/7, always, you don't really see him that much, you go camping, and we have tribes. I am Seminoles, there's Cherokee, Apalachicola, other more exciting ones. And we go camping, and we do wars. We do what is it called?
Like war games.
Yeah,
and stuff.
war games.
Confidence
war games.
games. Things like that.
Yeah. And last Indian Princess, my dad gathered 250 water balloons.
Oh my.
And we blew them up, and we got a few people from each tribe, and my dad went with a mic and said, "We have a special surprise for you all. Ready, girls?" And we said, "Yeah!" and like, go! Water balloons everywhere. All of that. They're running for their lives.
It's pretty much chaos for fathers and daughters the entire weekend.
Sounds like it. Sounds like a lot of fun too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we do Indian Princess together. We do Spartan races together. It's funny because I was kind of the guy that was most likely not to have kids as I grew up, and so when I knew we were going to have a child, I actually for some reason really wanted a daughter. It was kind of crazy. I know it's kind of weird, but all my life I'm kind of a mama's boy. So been doting on my mother for a long time, and I knew I wanted to dote on somebody else too. So having a daughter was pretty cool, and I ran with it because I got to do kind of the best of both worlds. I get all the love and cuddly time, and then on the weekends I just beat the heck out of her like a boy and just make her do all the things I want to do. So.
Didn't you do the color run this past weekend or something?
Yeah, we did the color run.
I had I got her involved in every sport that I ever wanted to do or did. And I always tell her she actually did a 5K for her first 5K was actually when she was like 2 years old and she was in a Bajorn with me. So she's been doing 5Ks since before she could walk. Yeah. 5Ks. Yeah. So it's been pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we better dive into our questions so we have time to get through them. So our first question is, because everybody has one, what is your superpowers?
Ooh, I like that question. I'd like to say what I think her superpower is.
Please do.
So if I were to say something about Chloe as a compliment, but also a superpower, she has, it's probably a real life superpower. You have the most infectious ability to make people understand what pure joy is. I don't know if I can word that, but this girl, I swear, and I mean, it's a mixture of obviously my wife and I, but she takes it to another level. She is able to be around people and absolutely make them feel like their life is in the best place ever. And whether it's a smile, a hug, I don't know what it is, but I am. It takes whatever I have to the next level and then some. So. But I mean,
so what's your dad's superpower, Chloe?
Well, my dad's superpower is Mr. Positive. He is so positive that every morning when I go to school, he puts on this, I don't know what it is, but these people screaming at you, you can do it, believe in yourself, rise up. And I feel like I got in trouble. They're screaming at me. I'm like, so mean. So positive.
Positive power in the morning. Come on.
You know what? There will come a day, Chloe, when you will look back at that and be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much that my dad did that, because you don't know how lucky you are. A lot of kids aren't like that, have parents doing all that for them. I think that's incredible. I wish my parents would do that for me.
I'd much rather listen to Billie Eilish or Taylor Swift or something in the morning, but
I think
I have to say there's so much when I was a kid that I didn't realize, and now that I'm an adult, I look back and I'm just I'm so thankful and so blessed to have the dad that I had, the parents that I had, because not everybody's that lucky. So
yeah, I don't think
it might be funny now, but you'll appreciate it in the future.
My dad was amazing, but he definitely taught me lessons a different way. So sometimes a little bit through intimidation or fear to get something done, but I think our lives have changed a little bit to be reinforced by positivity. I think it's kind of the new thing.
Well, I think that's how I grew up too. I was reinforced with other forms of
right.
I don't know what you want to call them, but they were not positive recordings telling me how awesome I am. That's for sure.
You know what though? It's funny because, with my son, obviously I think it's a little different, the way that we develop our respect for each other. But I can say one thing about Chloe and her and I relationship. And it's just kind of funny. It's kind of molded into this. Even when I want her to do, she's amazing. I put her on a huge pedestal, but she's not the world's perfect child. She has her quirks as well too. But like even the times when I want her to do something, I mean, we have like a 1, 2, 3 count process in our house, right? So, 1, 2, don't get to 3, right? So, I mean, if I even get to the number 2, I mean, she is like on top of it wherever I need to go.
Yeah, I like run for my life.
But it's not because like I chased her around, with a belt or something like that. It's like I think it's like we have a responsibility to each other and a respect to each other that I think she doesn't want to disappoint me. Yeah. And I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if like that's natural between dads and daughters, but for I mean, I only have one daughter, so I don't know. But I mean, to me, I think it's a pretty cool process to sort of see that I don't really have to get upset to get her to do something. It's pretty much she listens, which is pretty awesome.
Well, I would say that's pretty particular to you guys because my husband and daughter, Lexi, who you guys know Lexi, they do have an incredible relationship. I mean, we say it all the time, like they get along way better and me and my son get along way better. Like it's completely apparent. But Lexi does not definitely do what Chloe does. Like if Nick said 1, 2, 3, she'd be laughing by the time he hit 3. So what I want to say to that is that I think that it shows a level of respect. And I think that's amazing. Not that Lexi's not respectful of her dad. She is very respectful. But I think just in that situation, I think that's awesome that she does that. And let's hope she keeps doing that when she's 18.
Yeah. She's not foreign to telling me something too and putting me in check. I mean, I think we just recently where we had a disagreement about something and I was probably wrong, but I said it. I stood my ground in being wrong. And she kind of went off to her room, and every time I kind of passed by, she reminded me that what I said was wrong. And and that's okay because at the end of the day, she recognizes the fact that I have to be on point too. So that's pretty cool.
All right, we get to move on to the next question, which is, what is a book that has influenced your life?
She actually brought hers with her, so we can
Oh, you brought it. Let's see it.
So, my book that influences me is Herstory. It's about powerful women that change the world, and I just get so inspired by that. So many women that people might not know change the world. They change it.
It's pretty cool. It's really cool, actually. Yeah, she's been so into this book. At night, she just goes and she does her own little essays.
Oh yeah, I wrote.
And then comes and tells me about them, the next day. And I mean, what's really cool, I think, which is really cool, is that there are some parts of life that maybe in the history books as we grew up, we learned that men maybe have done this, that, or the other. But really, what I find out is that I'm actually learning from her, is that there were actually women that were very influential at these moments as well too. So. It's sad that they're not highlighted as much, but I think that when we kind of found this book, it was, it really made me happy because it kind of adds that confidence to her that she can achieve big things too. If she does.
Did you know, speaking of that, and I just learned this from my daughter, Lexi, have you ever watched the Broadway show Hamilton?
A long time ago, but not the new.
So you know that Hamilton is really is his wife's story.
No.
Yeah, you have to really watch it and you have to pay attention. But at the very end of it, it gives me chills as I'm talking about it. But she basically tells the story, like she goes through how it really was her story to tell because she was the only one left to tell that history of what happened during that time. And she went on to do incredible things for the community and our government. I mean, her story, her name is Eliza Hamilton, is unbelievable. I have a completely new frame of mind when I watch Hamilton now. You should watch it. It's on Disney Plus. Go watch it.
Okay, so it's kid approved. Okay, good.
It's kid approved. It's really good.
All right, we'll put that on the books for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. For me, what the books lately to me, I mean, if I could find time to carve out to read books, I really wish. I need to probably kick that up a gear. She was even kind of jabbing me about it. What I am really good about it and very religious about is listening to motivational stuff. No pun intended to her joke, but I mean, that's what I really like to do. So I do listen on Audible. So I'm going back to some Audible books right now. One of the one is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's kind of an old time classic, and I'm, now I can listen at like a 10x speed, so I can kind of do that while I work out or jog or something. I mean, I got so much time in the time of the day, so I got to squeeze it in.
I do love that feature that you can speed things up, and
Yes,
Yeah, and Think and Grow Rich actually came up in another podcast that we had. It's a classic that if you haven't read it, you should.
I mean,
And
some of the books
if you don't have time to read it, Audible it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I were to tell you the books I'm reading lately are mostly kid books, and I usually pass out reading to them in bed. So, nothing of interest in Curious George, a couple of those,
But we've had a lot of our guests actually have talked about children's books and how really rich and how simple they are. What was it, Julietta? We've talked about, you will explain this better than I will. When you learn something, go.
So that, like, to know that you really understand something is when you can talk about it at like a 6th grade level for anyone to be able to understand it. If you can't simplify something enough so that even a child can understand it, then you don't fully understand it yourself. So, a lot of the kids' books out there have really profound messages, but they're told in a really simple way. So, you just have to be open to hearing the messages.
Certainly comprehension is, as a young parent, with young kids, that's the biggest thing that they're trying to teach in school right now too, is not only reading whatever story you're reading, but you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. It's about the comprehension part of it. What's the story mean? What's the undertone of it? And we do a lot of that. I mean, even with her and I and Cruz, we'll all read together. Like Dr. Seuss is a big stuff. We like all the rhymes and stuff. Yeah, I love Dr. Seuss. Yeah, right. But sounding out, things that don't make any sense, and challenging in that way. And we'll take turns each reading something. So, it's kind of our nighttime pastime, I guess.
Dr. Seuss books are the best. My mother collected all of them, and I still have the originals. I have a box full of original Dr. Seuss books. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Him too. He has all his books.
I do, actually.
That's awesome.
We have a bookstore in our own house.
I can't get rid of them.
Yeah, me too.
All right, our next question. And I really love this question that we're talking about this with Chloe, because I think so many of us women, we live our whole lives like not doing self-care practices. And so to bring this to, young women and teaching them from the get-go, like you have to find ways to do self-care. And so that's our next question. What is your favorite self-care practice?
You do self-care yourself. Does that make sense? Self-care yourself?
I don't know.
Do you exercise? Do you like to be outside? What do you do?
Yeah. So my thing is obviously waking up, making my bed, and start stretching for what I said, lyrical. I really want to start being more flexible so I can move my leg all the way up to here.
Yeah.
And start doing splits and all that, and going outside in the backyard and practicing soccer, kicking the ball to the wall,
obviously sports in this house we're not short of, right? I think they're over exercised, so I don't think we're ever gonna have a problem there.
That's over exercising me.
But one thing to notice about her, we do, we're big advocates for creative time. And one of the cool things about Chloe, and hopefully she's not embarrassed by me mentioning this, is that she still plays with her dolls. Mm-hmm. And she's 10 years old, so maybe she grows out of it, maybe she doesn't. But I go in and play with her sometimes, but it's what's cool. Which is cool because it's a time we get to share, and then we create little stories, right? And they're somewhat relationship oriented, but I could tell she's processing those things in her mind about dynamics that she's probably seeing at school or maybe catching on TV. I don't know.
I just think of it.
Or she just comes up with it, right? But it's a creative process, and I think that kind of giving them the ability to have some time alone and create their own time to kind of sort things out in their mind, and whether they're using dolls or they draw and write, I think that's all a form of expression, and it just can't be all hammered down about sports and athletics all the time.
Yeah, creativity is so important, and I feel like so much of life these days, like everything just gets put in boxes, and we just have these routines, and creativity gets lost, and it's super important for all of us to have creative outlets, and it can be in so many different ways. It doesn't have to, people like to put their creativity in boxes too, and so just any way that we can find to express that is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, we've had her in acting for quite a long time now through the Green Room Studios up in Boca, and then now they're doing Zoom. But I mean, she's been doing this for 2 years, and obviously as parents, you're always, whether it's sports or acting or anything, you're always kind of like, wow, what if? But at the end of the day, it's really development, and I think that's what's cool about it is it's helping her with her confidence and her expression of emotion, and
it's like my work.
Yeah.
No, she's right. Yeah, she's absolutely right. Because my kids, they're 24 and 21. And now that like my son is out in the real world, adulting and working, they love him at work. And I'll tell you why, because he learned how to be part of a team.
Right. And
he learned how to be self-motivated because he was always in sports and in activities. And he used to sing in the choir when he was little, and he did stuff at church. And, but all those things, like you just said, you have these grand things like, oh my gosh, what if they became whatever, famous or whatever. But the reality is they're really learning, they're building their character. They're learning how to adult, right? So important.
100%. Yeah. I think as a parent, that's a challenge that we all deal with is, you see some people that, Julietta, you were mentioning like putting things in a box. Well, parents can be forced in some ways to feel like they need to direct them only into one category of something because that's all they're going to be, if there's a chance for them being good, then they're only going to do that one thing. Mm-hmm. And, the percentages are always against that from happening. So if you can expose your kids to multiple things, it really makes them a well-rounded person. And then, success in life will come from that. Mm-hmm. I don't think it needs to come from just kind of blinders on to just one function only.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
Yeah.
That's good.
Do you have a self-care practice, Jay?
Do I have a self-care practice?
Wait, riding his bike.
You only have a minute to answer that question.
A minute. I mean, when you say self-care, I'm not hairstyle, or are you just talking about,
Right.
You know what? I'm in my 40s now, and I swear I try to do as much as I can to just keep myself flexible, able, so that I can just run around after these kids because it doesn't get easier as they get older. They just get faster and stronger. Until I find the fountain of youth, I wake up pretty early, hit exercises and positivity. So, just trying to keep myself grounded and just whatever curveballs life throws at you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. And our final question is, how do you create accountability in your life? How do you make sure you get the stuff done that you need to get done?
First, accountability. How do you know what to do? Like from the minute that you wake up, what do we expect of you? I guess is we hope that you will do.
Well, what they hope for me to do is clean my room, get dressed, brush my teeth, comb my hair, all of that. And I try my best to listen to all that because kids, they want to it's okay until they count to two. Until they count to two. Fun. But I would actually pretty get up and try my hardest to motivate me to do it.
What's our 3 Ps?
Powerful, positive, productive.
There we go. So, that's really for me and her. To me, the 3 Ps that I kind of instill in both Chloe and Cruz are kind of like our underlining mantra, but it really kind of defines what my expectations of them are.
Yeah, every night we say it. And
it has to do with everything that I see going on in their day. I mean, kids go through stress, kids go through a lot of, self-doubt, and they struggle with why someone talked to me the way they did, or why does somebody treat me or not pick me on on this sport, or, I'm struggling with getting to this grade level. And so we came up with these 3 Ps, and we say it every night before we go to bed. And we say it with conviction, and each word has a different way you say it. And, for that reason, it's kind of an accountability practice because I think it instills sort of a life lesson that whenever they find themselves challenged in something, they remind themselves of those 3 words and kind of find the power behind those words.
Say them again.
Powerful, positive, productive.
Do you always say the productive like that?
Yep.
That's awesome. I love it.
But we talk about this, like what they mean and what they kind of mean in their everyday life too. So, not just sort of chanting them, erroneously out at night, but, really kind of why there's a purpose behind them.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Purpose. That's another P.
That's another P. Maybe we'll add the fourth.
I used to drop my, speaking of middle school is, just a lot going on in middle school. And I can remember sometimes dropping my kids off at middle school and, whatever, maybe they got into an argument with a friend the day before, or they didn't get picked for something or whatever. And I used to always say to them, make it a great day. You have to make it a great day. You have to make that choice to make it a great day. And I think when you use that mantra with your kids, Jay, the powerful, positive, productive is awesome, because even though, like you just said, like you talk about the meaning of it, but the fact that they are saying it and putting it out there into the energy of the universe and into the world, that's what they're bringing back to themselves, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I love that. I think it's great.
Thanks.
Yeah, it all begins with you.
That's right. It certainly does. All right.
Good stuff.
Are we ready for our takeaways?
Wait, did Jay say how he keeps his own?
Oh, we didn't get Jay's accountability. You're right.
My accountability, I think my accountability is just being present. Taken away from just business and work and things like that. My accountability to my family is being present. And trying to maintain some sort of, I don't really know if there's truly a word like balance. I think there's like more of a word of like harmony, right?
Harmony. I like that word.
Yeah. So, there's going to be times where I'm working a lot and I can't be around, right? And then there's times I'm around the house a lot. And then of course, when I'm around the house a lot and then I have to work a lot, they get upset because they normally used to seeing me, right? So I don't know if there's really like a work-life balance, but I like the word harmony. And I like the accountability because, one of the things I've made sure of being a dad is that, noticing when it's time to like shut things off and spend time and focus on, them. Right. So, obviously I could be a sideline dad when it comes to sports. I choose to coach. So I've coached her since she's, been 3 years old. And, putting that time in to not only coach her, but coach, other youth people, youth kids as well too. But it's about that connection and spending the time with her versus her just being out there doing the thing and me just never really spending that time. I'm just a shuttle bus, to her sports. Obviously Indian Princess gives an ability for us to shut down for the weekend and really spend time with each other and other dads and their daughters. Have fun and relax. So accountability is really, like I said, the ability to be accountable for the time that when we spend together, we are spending it together. And I try to give that to them all, equally.
Awesome. Love it.
All right. Now it's time for takeaways.
All right. Takeaway.
Allison's going first.
Okay. I would say, initially I was going to say my takeaway. Well, it still is. I need to get that book, Herstory, because I need to read that because I think that looks amazing. And I'm a book junkie. If you saw my bookshelves, it's ridiculousness. But I think my biggest takeaway, is just what Jay just said. And Julietta, this has come up for us with other people we've interviewed, is almost like Jay, you were saying, it's almost being present in what you're doing at that time. So I think for me, like Lexi's home for the summer and I could work all the time. Like I could work 24/7 and still have stuff to do. Right. So for me, it's stopping and enjoying the time. And she's probably listening to me going, yeah, you're still not very good at it, but it's a work in progress of enjoying the time with her, because the reality is that she's now 21 and she's almost done with college and she's going to be out on her own. And then I'm not going to have that time with her. So I think it's being very present in whatever it is that I'm doing. If I'm working, being present in work. And if I'm with my kids or my husband, being present in that. So that would be my biggest takeaway, is to continue to practice getting better at that.
That's good.
My takeaway for this show, it's not really anything we talked about, but just super excited to see, a dad empowering his daughter and like her learn, your 3Ps, and just feeding into all this positivity at such a young age, and setting her up for success in her life. Like, that's, I really hope that that more parents are out there that can do this. And if there's kids out there that don't have parents that are providing that in their life, like, that other people in the community might reach out and just inspire these young girls to become goddesses of our future.
Love that. No.
Okay, you guys, what are your takeaways?
My takeaway, I just think is the confidence, the overall confidence of this forum, and the ability to be creative in your ideas, to allow someone like myself and her to come on here and really kind of tell our stories, and then kind of in the reverse, like I think this is a great testimonial to you, because I think that, like, all the confidence that I see in you, just to be able to sit here and have these questions thrown out at you and be live and in sort of an adult kind of forum, I think this is really very impressive.
Aww.
So,
you're making me teary over here. Stop.
so great.
And wait, I think you're right. Wait, Chloe, are you
right now? I don't know. Can't teach that.
Wait, are you 10, Chloe?
Yes, I'm going to be 11 in a week.
Okay, so we thought you were 12. So just so you know.
I do not want to be 12 yet.
Yeah, we're trying to slow over here.
Yeah,
right.
I get that.
Do you have a takeaway to share with us, Chloe? Oh no, I think they froze.
They did freeze.
They did freeze.
Oh, maybe they'll come back.
I don't know. In the meantime, if they didn't come back, just everyone, we want to thank you for joining our show today, this extra special show with our 10-year-old Chloe on the show. She did such an amazing job. I mean, to have, to pull herself together that way. Oh, they're back. Yay! You guys froze for a minute. Did you have a takeaway, Chloe?
Yep. My takeaway is for being here with you, with my dad, to talk about what you said of being a powerful woman. And yeah, I'm just really happy to be here.
Aww.
I love it.
We loved having you on the show today. You did a fantastic job, Chloe. And you did all right too, Jay. But we're just thanking you guys for showing up for this today. It was wonderful having you on. Thank you to all of our listeners. And if you enjoyed what you've heard today, please like us, subscribe to us. You can find us all over the place: YouTube, iTunes, Facebook. Where are we not? I don't know. Check the show notes. You'll find links to information, everything we talked about in the show, how to get in touch with us. And yeah, that's
awesome.
it for today.
Awesome. Girls are great.
Wait, we got to say it. We got to say the 3 Ps all together. That's how we have to end the show.
Ready?
All right.
Ready?
1.
Powerful, positive, productive. Yay.